Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I'm gonna show you a bit of experiment that I did using Spreadchalk and geometry nodes. Basically, to work with circular array, I found that it can get quite heavy for geometry nodes. Sometimes actually union. If you use difference, it's actually faster than using union. So for union, I actually use join geometry. So I'm gonna go in reverse how I created this. You can see here there's eta and theta. Those are actually the things that unify everything together, because I found that if we kind of doing a cutting and we end up with objects that's floating, it doesn't feel physical or real. So I just added that thing. And then also the thing that's make this kind of ring of array, that's actually kind of interesting. You can of course using boolean to get that kind of shapes, but that's basically this thing. So supposedly everything is procedural, so I can make changes anytime I like. So I can make shapes that's completely different. So that's pretty clear for things that making this kind of cut. Okay, the easiest to explain is if I use this thing once again, kind of showing you the process. So I started with this. This is actually based on the original alpha unified with zeta. And then the next step, I make this cut. And the next cut is using beta. Okay, so beta is, I found that, okay, there should be a faster way to search for a cutter. So I made a lot of cutter here. There's a couple of different examples. The most interesting array that you can make with Spreadchalk is probably duplicate objects along edge, I believe. This guy. I haven't tried this one, but this one is interesting. You should try it yourself. It makes a really interesting cutters. For now, just keep it simple. So I have, for example, I have a box. I have this beta objects. That's going to be the cutter, for example, to make this kind of cut. I can scale. I can, play around with this radius. When making this kind of thing, apparently we need to be kind of a little bit strict with the number. You cannot just randomly put like weird numbers. You can try, but you end up with something that's doesn't look right. So if you keep it the same kind of cut that's matching the outer part, you will get a better result. Something like this. It's this one is very strict. Okay, so the next thing, continue. I have gamma cutter. So let's see. So gamma cutter is similar to beta. I think I can just keep it like that, so you can see it's making a cut. Sometimes I actually think that keeping the cutter is also kind of nice idea. For now, we just keep it like that. Gamma is very similar. So same thing. I have circle, making circular array as a cutter. I rotate 90 degrees, but nothing too special there. Okay, this one maybe more interesting. Delta. So delta is a cutter that goes like that. I think I created this slightly different, or is okay, probably this one is also similar to previous cutter. But I try different kind of configurations. Sometimes, like I said, if you're keeping the cutter is actually a good idea. Continue on. Epsilon. Okay, epsilon cutter. Epsilon cutter is, let's take a look. So now it's starting to get heavier. Okay, epsilon is actually slightly different. This one is quite special. I started with a cylinder and then I extrude it and solidify. So cylinder, get rid of the cap, top and bottom, rotate it, extrude, separate, delete loose to clean up the shapes, and then solidify. So after I play around with this, I think I realized this kind of shapes, you can actually model like intricate shapes and then do a circular array and then just simply extrude. So it will make like a beautiful cut, just a single cut, but it's with intricate shapes. That might be what you need. So you don't need to go too complicated. It's totally up to you. However, you can start with just 2D shapes, make it circular array, and then just make one beautiful cut. So this one is epsilon. Now it's starting to get pretty complicated. And what's the next thing I have? Okay, join geometry, eta and theta. So this is what we have earlier. This one is simply join. You can use union, boolean, but I think this is okay. Still, the cool thing with alpha and geometry nodes modifier, you can just combine objects. You can boolean, combine, separate maybe, and it's become a single object that you can use with array. So, okay. Let's duplicate it in the y-axis. Make like 6 times boolean, so we have like some kind of tunnel. This is probably just one example. It's not too brilliant, but it's a good start. Play around with this and make some kind of cutter. Master Sion, actually the creator of box cutter add-on, have really good video tutorial on this kind of cutting. His method is more like on the fly, just hands-on modeling and boolean with array. This one is more procedural. It's up to you really, how you want to approach this kind of 3D models, but I think it can be kind of interesting. Try something simpler. I think try making like a lightsaber, the lightsaber design, study the lightsaber design, and then make all these intricate parts, and then using it as a cutter. So there you go. That's my experiment with this method. We'll see how it goes. I will try to continue with this and maybe gonna make another video to talk about this. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.